but of course, some of the pages are
Mayor. Here it is.
All right, come on, Mr. He's on? Mayor's on.
We're going to go ahead and call this special workshop Monday, August 18th, 2025 at the City Hall, Belle Glade at 5:09
Oh, wait. Oh, nine, okay.
on the West Avenue Complete Street Plan. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Roll call, Almason,
Here.
Collins. Here. Reese,
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
He's by phone. Okay, we got a quorum.
Please recognize that Mayor Wilson is on the line, on the phone line.
Approval of the agenda.
I need a motion for approval of the agenda.
Motion approved.
Second.
Roll call.
Almason,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Reese.
Aye.
Wilson. Thank you.
4-0. Motion carried.
The business is West Avenue A Complete Street Plan by Brian Ruscher.
Good afternoon, everybody. Brian Ruscher. I am the TPA's Transportation Planning Agency's Deputy Director of Multimodal, and I'm here today to present a study on West Avenue A. This was a request from Mayor Wilson, who sits on the TPA's governing board. In, I want to say, late 2023, we had a meeting between our executive director, our staff, and the city mayor, where he asked us to please come out and look at the Main Street for the city of Belle Glade and see if we can come up with some capital improvement projects to provide a little bit of a better walking, biking, driving feel to West Avenue A. We're very proud to have concluded this study at the end of June of this year. We have a lot to get into in terms of today, and I think I have about 45 minutes, maybe a little less, ish with the agenda. So I'm happy to roll through this. If you do have questions at any point in the presentation, I know it's a lot of information, it's very technical, please feel free to pause and raise your hand. I'll be happy to obviously yield to questions throughout the PowerPoint. So before I get into any of the things on Avenue, I do have my standard government-y spiel about what our agency is and what we do, the reason why we exist. Obviously, our mission is to collaboratively plan, prioritize, and fund the transportation system with a vision being safe, efficient, and connected. The TPA has a governing board member of 21 elected officials, 14 staff. We have three technical committees, of which your own Zatek Marin sits on our technical advisory committee. And of course, Mayor Wilson has sat on our governing board for years and years and years. We're very proud to have him. He is a staple for the governing board, so we appreciate him and all the time that he's given and all the emphasis on projects that have been moved forward through his leadership. The transportation planning process for us largely starts with a 25-year vision, which we then translate into a 5-year funding plan. And that 25-year vision really looks at everything from demographics, how we're going to grow as a county and as a region. Obviously, we are one traveling public between Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, and Broward County. So we really try to establish that program and fund things over the next 5 years. And what that amounts to right now is about $3.2 billion of work that we prioritize in the state. That includes everything from rail improvements, lighting, road capacity, and pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure. As I mentioned before, we're one traveling public. We have about 550 miles that we plan for that are county roads, 560 that are FDOT roads, and about 150 miles of road network of the 7,000 miles in Palm Beach County. So our 1,200-mile federal aid network that we plan for at the TPA, that is most of the major roads that people use in the county. So those are your arterials, your collectors, where you see most of the freight movements happening. It also consists of our rail system operators, Tri-Rail, Brightline, FEC, Regional Planning Council, our ports, and many, many others. As I said before, we're expected to grow from 1.5 million to 1.8 million in South Florida by 2050. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, that includes the western communities as well. We have a very prominent growth model that shows a lot of movement, not just from the urban core, but also central Palm Beach County and the western Palm Beach County area. So we're very interested in how we're going to continue to see 300,000 new residents over the next 25 years, about 11,000 a year coming to Palm Beach County alone, and seeing how that growth impacts the region, as well as our traveling public and our infrastructure. To learn more, get involved, I included some slides and some resources, so if you want to see more about our transportation system, provide some comments, please feel free to do that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. That should be the last of the slides for the generic information about our agency. I do want to, before I jump into the information, I want to thank the city manager, Lomax Harrell, for coming out and also participating with us on the day of the field audit, and the mayor as well for going out and walking, and the staff that were there. We had a really great review of existing conditions with the team, where we took that information and we came up with complete streets concepts and recommended improvements and next steps for West Avenue A. So diving into the conditions of what we looked at and we saw, let's see if I can get this slide to go forward. Okay, so West Avenue A, the section that we looked at was between Main Street and West 4th Street. So it's approximately 4 blocks, and it looks generally like this when you're driving down the street. 2 15-foot travel lanes in either direction, a 9-foot parking lane with 6-foot sidewalks roughly on either side. You can take that, and there's a little bit of flexibility in that. That's why we call it the typical section. We really just wanted to give it a better understanding of where things are moving in the corridor, where people are staying in the corridor, where they're able to traverse on the corridor. So keep this in mind, really wide travel lanes, a parking lane, and a sidewalk. Some of the existing conditions on the corridor, they vary depending on where you are. So for example, the study team, we had lunch at Banyan Tree Restaurant. They recently improved their facade. They recently improved their sidewalk. So a lot of the conditions that are out in front of that restaurant represent where we'd like to see the corridor going towards. We did see some areas of concern with respect to the road deterioration. I don't think that's a surprise to any of you. There's a little bit of a subsidence that's going on, obviously, throughout most of the developed area out in Belle Glade. But in addition to that, that extends to the sidewalks as well. There's some cracking. There is some drainage issues that should be addressed, as well as some lifting and heaving of sidewalks as well. Team noticed that for the most part, there are issues with respect to lighting and uniformity of how the drainage is working on the corridor. So that's something that we have identified as well, and we've documented in the study report that was included in the agenda packet. The corridor does have a lot of work to be done with respect to sidewalks and drainage, as well as with design standards for the intersections itself. This includes everything from how we treat the intersections for moms walking with strollers, which we did observe out in the corridor, to if someone were to be using a wheelchair, how they would interact with the street. So at conflict points, we want to make sure that the push buttons for crossing the street are up to standard. The materials that are used across the sidewalk are all kind of uniform, as well as making sure that the subsidence that occurs, if there is any occurring, can be addressed and mitigated in any particular way. So these are some of the things that we saw on the corridor. To give you an idea, we did also see that this was probably the most prominent, one of the most prominent transit stops in the vicinity of Belle Glade in terms of activity and in terms of people trying to catch a bus going eastbound back into the urban core of the county. We did look at population demographic background, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this because I think it's important to understand not just the overall picture where we reside in Palm Beach County, more narrowly Belle Glade, and then specifically Avenue A. Population-wise, there seems to be a lot of people living in the immediate vicinity of Avenue A. There's a lot of housing. There's a lot of access to institutions along the corridor. There's a number of churches. There's a number of government functions that are kind of all within that vicinity that really contribute to the liveliness of Avenue A. I've heard, and I've yet to find any, but I know that there is documentation that Avenue A was once the main street. So it's not surprising that Avenue A is still kind of a beacon of people, and their density for Avenue A is twice that of the population density for Belle Glade people per acre, and even more so on top of that, Palm Beach County. Similarly for jobs, it's 3 times the jobs per acre compared to the overall city of Belle Glade, as well as the household density. There's about 2 people that live per acre in the city of Belle Glade, but when you look at Avenue A, there's 3 people. So there's families, there's institutions, there's jobs, there's a lot of things that are going on in Avenue A. That demographic information extends even beyond that of Palm Beach County. So when we're talking about educational attainment, there are some needs in terms of zero vehicle households. You know, 40% of vehicles or 40% of households in the corridor don't have access to a motor vehicle. So we have to think about how people are going to walk, how they're going to get access to transit, and how they're going to access jobs and services in the county. There's about 3 times the disabled population in this area as well, which lends itself to having a greater need in services for Palm Trend Connection, or maybe using the Glade service. There's a lot of needs that are being provided for by the county that hopefully are being met for this area, but we think that with this project we'll be able to meet their needs even better. So to give you an idea of the work that we completed and how we structured our Avenue A study. The TPA is a very large planning area to care for. We have everything from Tequesta to Boca Raton, and from Belle Glade, Pahokee, and South Bay, all the way to Palm Beach. So we are not the most in tune, obviously, at all times with the community, and what we try to do is we try to provide really, really robust technical information to the city staff so that you all are aware of what you need to do, the next steps that you need to take, and how to move the project forward if you so choose. So the way we structured this was that we performed a walk audit with city staff to go out and engage with some of the businesses that are along the corridor. We had city staff in terms of the manager, the CRA director, Public Works team, building and permitting, and planning and zoning. We also had representatives from Palm Beach County's Housing and Economic Development, as well as Fire Rescue and some business flair as well. The reason that we do this is because we wanted to go out and we wanted to have everybody that's with the city see this and see what we're seeing as planners and as engineers, and talk to them about, well, how do we address some of the communities, how do we address some of the land use needs that are on the corridor, and then how do we work together to see what projects are immediate needs, maybe some of those low cost, high impact projects that we can go out and implement, versus going out and just reconstructing the whole street, because that would be another really big cost and ask. We also went out independently of the walk audit on 2 separate occasions to go and observe the street at night and in the morning to make sure that we were trying to get our eyes on the street and get a little bit more of a holistic report. We did see a lot of activity at night. It can be quite a festival type settings at times, and we really appreciate that. We think that that's what makes a Main Street great. So we want to continue that. We want to encourage it as best we can, and we want to make it as safe for everybody and as welcoming for everybody as possible. Some of the observations we saw is that the new restaurants that are coming or have already kind of landed on West Avenue A are very successful. We think that that is going to continue to contribute to the success of West Avenue A if you can build on the businesses that are successful and offer them resources to continue to thrive. There are other observations in terms of the street is that we notice that there are a lot of institutional uses along the corridor. So for example, if you have a lot of government or a lot of religious institutions, that's great if you want to provide services to the people. You would want to come up with a good mix of what those uses are. If you have a main street that's exclusively driven by an institutional use, your tax base might not be as high, and you might not be able to provide that high quality of a service because you won't be gaining as much from your main street. So that's one of the things that we reflected on as a study team in the field, was that we want to make sure that if county government properties are going up for sale, that they maybe are also looking at private purchasers so that you have a good mix of uses and a good tax base and foundation, because your main street is your greatest driver for your revenues as well. In terms of the pedestrian presence we saw, lots of families, lots of mothers with children, lots of people going to the transit connection there. The grade and the roadway itself, how it's constructed now, it's almost like a platform and then a steep drop and then the sidewalk. So it makes it very hard to navigate with a mobility device, whether it be a wheelchair, or stroller, or otherwise. So that was one of the earlier recommendations that we had for the city to possibly take on if that was possible. When we went out to the team, we did want to come up with a series of categories and provide for improvements to the community to look at. This looks at access, safety, connectivity, comfort, and placemaking. And I have examples for all of those that we'll walk through. So some of the street specifics improvements, and I know we have these pictures from all over Palm Beach County. There are key improvements that you want to make, and then there are ones that you obviously could hold off on, things that you maybe don't need to do right away. So the key improvements that you probably want to make are getting your Americans with Disabilities Act standards in place, making sure that your curb ramps are built correctly, they're built to standard, making sure that your sidewalks aren't lifted and heaved, and making sure that you have appropriate speed control mechanisms in place. I know it's not that big of a deal, but just making sure that speeding isn't an issue on the corridor, which can happen if it's not as well used. Some of the required things, the things that are nice to have: textured intersections, landscaping, parklets. Those are really great things for you to get and to have as a community. Maybe it's not the highest priority right now because they are more expensive to cost, to build, and maybe they are more expensive to maintain. So getting the things that are going to make your community really welcoming and accessible to all in place first are the key elements that we wanted to focus on for this slide. And what does that look like? So going back to that slide of where we had the typical view of the street, taking into account that this is just a flat picture, it's not three-dimensional at all, so we're not trying to show dips and rises in the street. We did want to show that there are options for all of the different types of improvements, and going back to that table that I had with the many categories, we actually propose that in the future that your staff take these series of slides forward as almost like a game, where you could cut up the street into different sections and drawings, and take 10-foot wide travel lanes, 9-foot wide dining options, and 11-foot sidewalks, and see what kind of benefits your community would get from that. You could also similarly cut up the street in another way, which has travel lanes, a parklet, or dining on the north side of the street, which is the right side of your screen, or landscaping on the south side, the left side of your screen. And the reason that you want to do this is to show the variables and possibilities for the future. We really don't have the capacity to do public input in this community, and we didn't scope for that. But we do think that maybe if you work with your CRA, or if you work with other local stakeholders and business leaders, and you show them some of these sections and possibilities of the future, maybe outdoor dining isn't a future that you see as viable for Belle Glade, but you do see the possibility of having a landscape style street in the future with lots of trees. Yes, Commissioner.
Again, I noticed that in several of these, you've eliminated on-street parking.
Yes.
So what is the recommendation on that part?
That's a great question. I'm just going to show the one last recommendation for on-street parking, which does include, and the reason we also show these is because we do want to give your business community and your residences the ability to say, okay, for the 100 block, I want option 1 because it has the most dining and that's where a number of restaurants are going. But on the 200 and 300 block, I want option 4. And then on the 400 block, I want option 2 because I want a mix of both. And this is where you can say on block by block basis, this is what you would like. You can also play around with this, and what we've done in our plan view, which shows all of the intersections, all of the streets from 4th to Main Street, is we've tried to show where you could put a little bit of everything. For the reason that we don't want to entirely eliminate the on-street parking. Many successful business districts, many successful main streets have on-street parking in some way, shape, or form. As they grow and as they build out, as private development comes online, sometimes those developers also offer up parking spaces, and that takes away the need for the on-street parking to be in place. I do want to note that there are some recommendations that you can't have parking right now as close to the intersection, so you have to push the parking zones back a little bit from the corners of the intersections because of sightline issues. But for the most part, we're retaining, I would say, 80% of the parking recommendations, 80% of the current parking infrastructure with this drawing. It's obviously that's an approximation. You maintain some outdoor dining space near Banyan Tree Restaurant, especially improving the bus stop, and as well as putting trees kind of where you can within the right of way. So it's a nice mix of everything without losing all of the on-street parking, because we did observe that the on-street parking does get busy, especially on the nighttime. And just to go back really quickly to the sections, we do provide these, and we do want to make sure that when we have these drawings, everything is kind of equal in how we drew these out. So if you did want to take these, you can cut them up and then just say, hey, we have 60 feet of space. Here's how much space it takes to do a tree well. So give us your tree wells and on this block, and you can design with the community as you need to. So we're happy to help and engage with this staff on that engagement opportunities as they come forward. One other thing to note I did want to mention is that with on-street parking being recommended and being possible, there is also the possibility of having additional parking come from the private space. So I believe that if you look at the screen here, it doesn't actually show up on here, but on the northern side of the map, roughly in the middle, there's a new parking surface area. You can have city staff go and just do a survey, what that parking looks like over the week. Ask that provider, I'm pretty sure it's a healthcare provider, or a religious institution. I'd have to see who actually owns the property. Ask if they would be willing to provide public parking for a benefit of some means. And that at least prolongs your necessity. Once you become a popular enough community, if you're thinking about adding more on-street parking or adding parking lots or otherwise in other places, it helps prolong that decision by getting the community more engaged. It also helps because that property owner is probably going to be more invested in the community. They're going to want to take better care of their property. Eventually, they can maybe start charging a premium if your events get too popular, so they could use it as a revenue source as well. Of course, all of this does come with a cost. What we were asked to do was to please go ahead and just cost estimate the full street reconstruction. So what we did in terms of looking at the street reconstruction was taking cost estimates from our consulting group that we were working with, Keish and Snars, doing a full demolition of the street, excavation of soil, and the new construction of sidewalk curbing and the road, reconstructing of the entirety of the hardscape, so everything of the asphalt, the concrete, the light poles being moved, creating ADA improvements at the intersections, We did cost estimate some landscaping. We did feel like it's important to include at least some of that, as you saw in our kind of overall plan view section. And then site furnishings. So what does it look like to build lighting, to get some city tables and seating that's in the right of way, shared road markings with bicycle symbols on the street, and a improved bus stop, which we felt was necessary. All that came about to about $13 million, about $4.25 million per block. So it is an expensive project. It's one that would probably take multiple years to get constructed as well, but one that is likely worthwhile to the community. Many cities need their main street, and so it's something where we're looking forward to working with you on the next steps and potential funding opportunities. Obviously, the city is the first and foremost for local funding, but beyond that, there's other state and federal funding resources. So just going down the list, you all are probably very familiar with the Small County Outreach Program, Rural Areas of Opportunity Fund, the surface transportation block grants that are available through the TPA and FDOT. We also have the Rural Infrastructure Fund, which is a federal funding resource, the Safe Streets and Roads for All program, what was called the BUILD program through the Federal Highway Administration, and the Safe Streets and Roads for All. All of these are things that we can help you with if the city decides to go after those funding resources. We can allocate some assistance to you all to help pursue those. But before we do that, I did want to mention that it's really important that you take this project out to the community and that you engage with the property owners on Avenue A, the residences that are in the street. It would be helpful for us to better understand what the scope of the project would be. So where we're going to be putting trees, where we want on-street parking, where we maybe need more sidewalk space. That would be really helpful for us to get a better refined cost estimate, because we just assumed that there was a master that we would go with, and the community really should be given the opportunity to provide feedback to that. Before even then, there are some possibilities to improve some of the markings on the street, set back the parking a little bit from the intersections, make sure your crosswalk striping is up to date, enhance the bus stop as much as feasible. Those are some things that probably the city staff could take on through push-button contracts or otherwise that don't require going out and reconstructing everything. And then, of course, pursuing long-term options for design and construction has to happen. We know that the city will be successful, but it can have a much greater success on the street if it starts to move towards creating a common vision for the roadway with its community, and then working on how financing plan for moving this forward with the TPA and other partners. So I believe that is all that I have, and I'm happy to answer questions if there are any.
Thank you for the presentation. Something that is that I like, the development. Commissioner Reese, you have any questions?
Yeah, you mentioned at the beginning of the presentation about some type of speed control mechanisms, and what type of mechanism did you have in mind that you wanted to talk about that?
Sure. There are options in terms of what's on this screen is probably the most appropriate. It's called a curb extension. So I mentioned before in the on-street parking, you have to set it back a little bit. You can do multiple things with that space, but most communities, what they do is they try to extend the sidewalk out into that buffer zone, so that they don't have to just paint it and leave it be, because that can create some issues with how people obey the street. Now, what you do when you build the curb extension is you make the curb, you build it into the street. You don't actually lose any travel space for the car, but it makes the corridor feel visually narrower. So that's how you would slow things down north and south and east and west. We didn't observe a whole lot of speeding. There was some people who obviously came into the street pretty quickly from Main Street, or that were traveling north and south on some of the crossover streets where the canal has a signal. But for the most part, it wasn't that big of an issue. It's just kind of in those entranceways to Avenue A's where we saw the biggest need for those improvements.
So you're saying basically slow it down by the highway design itself?
Right, yeah. You don't want your highway or your main street to feel like a highway. It's a continuation of the highway.
Okay. And this is strictly focusing on the streets, not necessarily the buildings and that nature.
We did have a lot of conversation about, the buildings itself. There are opportunities to work with the Regional Planning Council on a really robust, redevelopment plan. There are opportunities for improvements that could come from this. We don't necessarily focus on land use as an agency, but we do dabble in it quite a bit. And I've worked on multiple Main Street projects throughout the state and in Delray Beach, many in Central Florida when I worked with the state of Florida at the Recreational Trails Office. And they use they leverage land use quite heavily in the success of their Main Street. They want to ensure that their community vision is set forward. Everything from how building frontages address the street with windows, with lights coming from the building at all hours, with how maintenance for the sidewalk is detailed, how there's one particular surface treatment that you're allowed to use, whether it be pavers, concrete, or asphalt. They set standards for that. So we do have some information that's in the packet about that, but it's not the heaviest focus of us as an agency. We're mainly focused on building the federal aid network, which is a really, really robust and technical term for, we want the roads to be built. So land use is definitely a part of this equation, but it's not something that we focus on.
Commissioner Collins?
I don't have much, but I really do love this little setup and the environment that it will bring. But I did wanted to ask, I'm not sure if zoning allows for that, but is there opportunity to go up to have dining on top of some of those
Absolutely.
buildings?
Yeah. As long as it's not, in front of the building face and it's on the building roof or it's on within the private property, generally speaking, that's allowable. You also have, you also have the opportunity to allow dining in the street. So if you don't want to go vertical, go horizontal and build out the sidewalk to be, in Delray Beach, we had a 12-foot wide sidewalk, 6 foot of which was dedicated to the adjoining restaurant or shop to put out carts, to put out sidewalk tables and cafe seating. And then 6 foot had to be maintained for clear space. So if you don't want to go vertical and have it entirely on the private property, there's also agreements that you can have with business owners to allow it in the public street too.
Yeah, so again, my question was, I'm not sure if zoning allows for dining to be on the rooftop, but that's what I was asking.
It would be allowed, you can do that. It's
Okay.
possible, yes, you can do that.
Thank you, Mr. Kramer. Yeah, I think
Sorry.
that would bring some attraction as well too. Gives a different feel of downtown.
Absolutely. And the view shed that you would get, I'm sure that on
Yes.
clear days you can see, pretty far. So, agreed.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Chair, and to my colleagues and to the staff and to the presenter with the TPA. You guys don't know how blessed we are to have them. When we first requested this study of review, they did not hesitate at all to come out to the Glade. We all know that Avenue A needs an overhaul, and it's going to be an expensive project. But we can care less about that because it's got to get done. But I want to thank the presenter for giving us. My question is, at some point, are we going to have to buckle down with the options? Are we in that part of the ballgame now?
I recommend that the city do come up with its what we call preferred alternative to move forward, and that would help us at least if we could get like a memo from the city that's informed by public input, 2 pages that kind of says, hey, for these blocks, let's have this type of treatment, and from that we can update our study, and we can start asking DOT when they can come out and work on getting this program moving forward. So that would mean getting onto our list of priority projects. And then ultimately our funds do come after some time. We don't fund things immediately. Nothing happens immediately in the transportation funding world. But once you get into our project pipeline, like our State Road 80 lighting project, or other major projects that we have kind of ongoing, they do eventually get funded. So it's important to start that process. And the sooner you can do that, the sooner we can put you into the pipeline.
Well, thank you for answering that question. So, Mr. Chair, I was strongly urge us to maybe give it the manager and staff and start put something together to get the community input, because we don't need to sleep on this, because I'm telling you, they have the energy ready to go. We need to start pushing it.
And if I make a comment too, I appreciate the list of grant opportunities that you provided to us. And once again, I would encourage staff to begin looking at as many of these opportunities as we can to put in the funding for this particular activity. And especially we can find fundings for the local businesses for the rehabs of the storefronts of those businesses. So I think we really need, when we get ready to meet with them, have some idea of what funding that might be available for them to tap into and help improve the frontage of their buildings.
I have a couple of comments.
Mr. Vice Mayor.
You didn't speak to electric bikes or electric scooters.
Yes.
And that's something that's everywhere. Maybe a charger station or something around the bike, maybe work with Palm Tran to have a parking station there. And my other concern, I want there's a lot of people, like you say, that walk around the area. So lighting is very important to me, and safety, and also cameras. So when we do the street lighting enhancements and everything, I think CCTV would be important, because that just gives everybody a better sense of safety, that, somebody's watching you or stuff. And it's just more inviting when, there's cameras and you can see, hey, he, parked over here and that was his last spot, entering this restaurant, or he went shopping there, and then from there he disappeared. So those are my comments on that, is on the safety and electric bikes. I know because it's coming, people, use them here, and unfortunately they're on sidewalks, some on streets. There's really not much way to regulate them or enforce them, but and I know they're gonna use them to come there.
Absolutely. So Mr. Vice Mayor, couldn't agree more on both of your points. So I'll start with street lighting. There's two ways to handle that. One is the city provides light poles in the street, and I think that's the most common approach. You provide a uniform street lamp. You either purchase the poles yourself, or you work with FPL and come up with an agreement for that and get them installed, or you put them kind of on the poles that are out there. That is definitely a recommendation for us. I think it's more of a long-term thing, because there is a high capital cost to that. Or alternatively, getting businesses to provide sconces and lighting on their storefronts. And that's a nice, curb appeal type approach, and having the business owners just install a light before they open up that, operates at all time of day. And then you have illumination, at least in that frontage, for the time being. So there's a couple of approaches you could take there. I would echo your sentiments about e-bikes and e-scooters. They're definitely everywhere. And what your point about Palm Tran, I think it's a great point, that maybe some e-bike charging or long-term e-bike parking for people who are making the trip on the 40 into downtown, that maybe they have some secure bike parking or secure charging access as well. That's a really great recommendation. We'll carry that forward as we continue working on this. That's a wonderful recommendation. That being said, they are everywhere. Some of them are nuance users. We are hosting a micromobility workshop that's going to cover state statutes on what cities can do to regulate on September 10th at the TPA. So I'd encourage you to register for that, or have your staff attend, either in person or virtually.
Thank you. Any more questions from the council? Any public comment?
No, sir. No, sir.
Well, we heard your kind of direction or what we need to do. Staff has heard it, and I think, we're gonna follow your suggestion there about getting up concepts or more defined so we can present it to the TPA and hopefully start working with y'all on applying for grants and start going that way. So we appreciate your time and everybody there at the TPA for the wonderful project. I mean, it's very, very, very nice, and it's something definitely needed here in our community. And no better street to start than Avenue A to really.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor.
I'll just add something. Thinking back on what Vice Mayor just stated about the lighting, solar power lighting would be more cost efficient, you know. They have some that comes on at dawn and dusk, you know, so
Yes.
it's on when it needs to be on and it's off when it needs to be off, and it's not having a big dollar attached to it.
Absolutely. I think Florida Power and Light has a solar LED fixture that does have that function. So when you go out and you develop your lighting program, city staff will be making sure that we're taking every available opportunity that's out there for it. I did want to close, if that's possible, by just saying that we're here as a resource for you and for your community. And we do want to make sure that if there's any opportunity to help you out with the county transportation master plan process that's underway right now and identifying project needs, we're more than willing to do that, work with your staff, and potentially help out again with the consultant resource for if you need a mobility plan or otherwise, we're happy to help.
I'd just like to add something, Brian. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sorry? I can't hear you. Oh, can you hear me now? Yeah, good deal. Brian, I'd like to thank you and the whole TPA team for this well-elaborated presentation. You guys did a phenomenal job. This was a really, really good study. I'm really excited and really pumped up for it. A presentation like this and a study like this costs a lot of money, so I'd like to highlight TPA. Thank you guys so much because you guys saved us a lot of money on this. This is great. We're excited. Not a lot of towns and not a lot of cities, at least in South Florida, they don't have their main streets anymore, or the little downtowns that they used to have, and so we're very lucky to still have our CRA section in town, and I'm really excited about the things that we can do. I'd also like to add on there, I appreciate you guys for letting us know about the grants. We will definitely take into consideration. We're actually working on a couple of them. We just need to decide another date to have a workshop or something set up with the commissioners and the community to also have like a little survey or finally decide on what we want to do. But yeah, for sure. Definitely excited about this. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you all. I appreciate your time.
With that, we'll adjourn the meeting.
We want to move into our next meeting, our CRA meeting. This is a
We call
special
to order
meeting.
the CRA meeting at 5:50. Go ahead, Madam Clerk, call roll call.
Amazon,
Here.
Collins,
Here.
Reese,
Here.
Wilson. Okay, we have a quorum.
All right, next in line is invocation of Pastor Reese, and then we'll do the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this beautiful day that you've created. Father, as we come together, we ask that you will guide our thoughts and our minds, that whatever we talk about, whatever we discuss will be to the betterment of our community. We ask your guidance that we make the right decisions that will help this community to grow. We're thankful to the staff that you've given to us. We pray a special blessing for each and every one of them. So be with us now and guide us as we come together. We ask all in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Could you please join us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
We need a motion for approval agenda.
So move.
Second.
We had a first and a motion, a second.
Roll call, Amazon,
Aye.
Collins,
Aye.
Reese,
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
All right. At the CRA meeting, the special meeting, we're here to request approval to receive and file Community Redevelopment Agency financial statement for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2024, and it is referred to as backup in item 8 in your regular meeting agenda. Would like to make a motion?
Anyone has any comments, questions? Everybody received their packages?
Yes.
We have no public comment, sir.
No public comments?
No.
Okay. So we need a motion to accept this.
Motion to move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Roll call, Amazon,
Aye.
Collins,
Aye.
Reese,
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, that's all what we have
All
for
in
the CRA.
favor? All right. Motion to adjourn?
You really need a motion, but if you're ready to adjourn this meeting, we can
Yeah,
adjourn this meeting.
meeting's over.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, 6 o'clock workshop.
Times are so different. Mayor, Commissioners, mics are live.
All right, we're gonna call the workshop meeting for the city of Belle Glade on Monday, August 18th, 2025 at City Hall at 6 o'clock. Madam Clerk, can you call roll call, please?
Almazan,
Here?
Collins.
Here.
Reese.
Here.
Wilson. Okay, so we have a quorum with Wilson via telephone.
Here.
All right, we have the mayor on the phone. Approval of agenda, need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Almazan,
Aye.
Collins,
Aye.
Reese.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
All right, go ahead,
right.
Madam Clerk.
Under presentations, we have our Employee Safety Award recipient. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, Ms. Brown is not able to make it today. So we'll give her, that's my admin, that's my right hand. I'll give her her check. So we'll just, we'll say that in the regular meeting. There is a recommendation to hold the Nolan Holden Minor PA 2024 Annual Comprehensive Financial Report during our workshop. Do we have
Yeah,
a
we can go ahead
consensus
and
to
try
move
to do
forward
it.
with that?
Is
in our
everybody
workshop?
good?
Okay,
We have a consensus.
okay, great, thank you. Now we need the representative from Norton Holton Minor. Please state your name.
Good evening.
Good evening. Is your mic on?
I think, yes, just,
Yep, there it goes. Good evening, I'm Terry Morton, I'm a partner with Nolan Holton Minor. And I'd just like to hit some of the highlights of the financial statements and open it up to any questions you might have. And first of all, it is an annual comprehensive financial report, and that means it's got a lot of extra information that a lot of governments don't put in. It puts you in probably about the top 20% of financial reporting across the country, which is something to be proud of. And part of that process is your statements get sent to Chicago and they get judged by 3 different people going through about a 20 or 30 page checklist, making sure you've got all the required disclosures. So that's something to be proud of, and you've had it for a long time now. And some of the extra stuff that's included in here is the introductory section, which gives you a little more background about the city, and it has a transmittal letter, and it has the organizational chart and all the principal people. And really what makes it nice is it's also got a statistical section. And that is about 20 or 30 pages, and it's got 10 years of statistics in there. And that's the main reason why this is a nice award to get, because a lot of the bond writers and debt people really like having all that information so they can analyze it, or even if your citizens wanted to go back, they've got 10 years of historical audited information they can look at. And it's really nice to see the trends and stuff. And then as far as the stuff we actually give an opinion on is our audit opinion, as in prior years, is we call it an unmodified or clean opinion, which that means the financial statements are fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. And just to hit some of the financial highlights is in the general fund, your fund balance went up about $400,000 compared to prior year. And your unassigned fund balance, which is what the money you've got going forward into the subsequent budget year, was down about $400,000. But the main reason for that is you had already assigned about an extra $800,000 for the 25 budget. So really it was it's still a net increase. And on the income statement in the general fund, the same thing. Your revenues were up about $250,000, and your expenses were down about $1.5 million. And so that gave you a net change of an increase of about $400,000. And then in enterprise funds, all 3 of them had a positive net income this year, or 24. The garbage and solid waste was about 200,000. The marina was 160, and the stormwater was 137,000. So that's, again, is good. And as in prior years, all your funds were within budget for the year. And then just to go over some of the other reports we issue, government auditing standards requires us to issue a report on your overall compliance with laws and regulations, and then on your overall internal control system. And we had no comments on either of those issues. And then because you've got a large amount of federal and state funding, we also have to do a separate, where we give an opinion on your compliance with this federal and state grants. Again, that was a clean opinion. There was no non-compliance noted. And we also look at the internal controls over those programs. And again, you have a very good system of internal controls, and we didn't really notice any weaknesses. And then in our management letter, we did notice one thing is in the pension funds, there just was a large number of adjusting entries this year. So we talked to Diane and Finance about ways to reconcile that going forward so those accounts are more accurate. And then we also issue a report on your compliance with your investment policies and procedures. And again, we had no comments then. So overall, it was a very clean audit, and I would like to just thank staff for making it a clean process. We had a new staff person on the job this year, and she didn't have any problems stepping in with the assistance from your staff.
Well, we thank you for that great report. We'll see if any commissioner has any comments. Pastor Reese, Commissioner Reese?
No comments. Again, thank you so very much for reviewing and evaluating our fiscal condition. We greatly appreciate it.
No comments. Just say thank you for all the work that you put into this audit.
Mayor Wilson, you have any comment?
Yeah, just thank you for the presentation. Thank you so much.
I'll be quick. I do have a comment with Dodge. Does the Florida Dodge, would they see this, or we would send it up there, or I know
It goes to the Auditor General's office, and he reviews it. And then if there's any problems in the report, it gets referred to the Legislative Auditing Committee, which is part of the Senate and the House. But
okay, so we're doing good. All right, we appreciate your hard work and everything. Thank
and
you.
one of the interesting things about the Dodge report, that they sent information out to all of that. And you also file what's called an annual financial report, where all this information gets uploaded into a state database. So 80% of what Dodge asked for, they already had in that state database.
Well, that's good to know. That means we're
But
doing, that means our city staff
But they
is
still
doing their
made you
work.
give it to them again.
All right, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
All right. Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
In our regular meeting, we'll entertain the following under consent agenda items. We have item 4, city meeting minutes, approval of city meeting minutes. Item 5, ratification of a special event permit application for movie night at the park on August 7th, 2025 at Town Square. Item 6, ratification of a special event permit application from the Glorious Community Church for a fun day on August 9th, 2025 on church property. Item 7, approval to receive and file notification of the 2025-2026 group health, dental, and vision insurance rates with Public Risk Management of Florida Group Health Trust, and authorization to pay premiums accordingly. Item 8, approval to receive and file Community Redevelopment Agency financial statement for fiscal year ended September 30th, 2024. Item number 9, approval to receive and file comprehensive financial report for fiscal year ended September 30th, 2024. Item 10, approval of the 17th addendum to the Law Enforcement Service Agreement with Rick L. Bradshaw, Sheriff of Palm Beach County, and the City of Belle Glade. Item 11, approval of change order number 1, authorizing up to 10 additional test holes and up to 7 soft digs to perform for Basin H1 stormwater improvements projects, and approval of budget transfer number 25-T-040 in the amount of $7,750. Item 12, authorization to apply to the State of Florida Department of Management Services for Florida Local Government Cybersecurity Grant Program for fiscal year 2025-2026. Under adoption of resolutions, we have Item 13, granting approval to enter into the mutual aid agreement for hurricane disaster debris removal, reduction, and disposal with Phillips Heavy, Inc. for debris removal and reduction disposal services, granting authority for the mayor to execute said contract. Item 14, approval of emergency purchase for order for emergency stormwater drainage improvements and for other purposes. Item 15, approving the City of Belle Glade Code Enforcement Agreement, CDBG Code Enforcement Agreement between Palm Beach County and the City of Belle Glade for the use and benefit of the county's Community Development Block Grant Program. Item 16, supporting the development of countywide transportation master plan. Do we have any questions thus far?
Any questions, any comments?
Okay. Under adoptions of ordinances on first reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Belle Glade, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances at Chapter 2, Article 6, Division 4, Section 2336, amending the retirement plan for full-time employees, amending the composition of the Board of Trustees, providing for conflicts ordinances and authority to codify, providing for severability, providing an effective date, and for other purposes. We have under announcements, I'll mention that at our regular meeting, and we do have an add-on as item 18 relating to selection of developer and direction to begin contract negotiation relating to the Gove property. You should have a copy of the add-on on your dais, on the dais. And that's all I have.
Item. Is it?
Yes,
That's it?
And that's all I have under my report.
Does anyone have any discussion or? Does anyone have any discussion or pull an item or something? We'll give Commissioner Reese a minute or two to look over item 18. You're good, Commissioner Reese? Everything good?
Yes.
Yeah. Mayor Wilson, you have any comments or anything?
No, nothing for the workshop.
All right, and then, so we'll recess till 6:30. Adjourn till 6:30.
It's 6:29, ma'am. He said starting at 6:30. Commissioners, mics are live.
All right, good evening, everyone. Buenas noches. Gracias por venir. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. We're going to call this regular city meeting for the city of Belle Glade on Monday, August 18, 2025 at 6:30. Roll call, madam.
Almazan,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Reese.
Yeah.
Wilson. We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. We're going to do, please stand, those that can, for invocation, and then we'll do the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we are truly thankful, Lord, for this day that you've created. We thank you for the love and compassion you show to us each and every day. Father, as we come together this evening, we invoke your presence to be among us, that you may guide our thoughts and our conversation, that it'll be one that would truly honor you and be the best for our community. We pray for our citizens and this community, Lord, that you will continue to bless the city of Belle Glade. Continue to watch over and bless our staff. And Lord, I pray that you provide them with everything that they need. So as we come, Lord, guide us that we might make the right decisions that will help move this community forward. We ask this all in your precious name. And all those who love the Lord say, amen.
Would you please join us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, we want to recognize Ms. Bryant from Senator Berman's office. She's her community engagement staff out here, and also Ms. Annie Ifield with Healthcare Glades. She's a community partner all in the Tri-Cities. So now we need approval for the agenda.
Before we approve the agenda, we have a couple of items. We have an add-on, item 18, under the city attorney's report. It's a request for commission selection, developer, and direction to city staff to begin negotiations relating to the Gulf property. And we are deleting item 2 due to the presentation being presented during the workshop.
Okay, with those additions and amendments, we need a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second.
No public comments. Roll call, Almazan,
Aye.
Collins.
Aye.
Reese.
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
All right. Our 2025 Employee Safety Award recipient is Miss Belinda Brown. She works within the city clerk's office. Due to unforeseen circumstances, she wasn't able to make it today, but I'll make sure she gets her safety gift. Item 3, do we have any representative, Caretha Smith, regarding American Wound Care? Yes, ma'am.
Come on in, Ms. Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not presenting, Armar is presenting his program.
If you would come so we can hear your comments.
Let me go, he should be out the door right now. I'm not running away.
Somebody's gonna. Do you want to move forward and approve the
let's
consent
move
agenda
forward,
items?
yeah.
Okay. May we have a motion to approve the consent agenda items number 4 through 16?
So move.
Second.
Almazan,
Aye.
Collins,
Aye.
Reese,
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Motion passed 4-0.
All right, is the presenter ready?
He's not here, so I guess I can start for him.
Okay.
I don't know how well I can do it, but I'll try my best. Where do I stand at here?
Right there.
Right here.
Speak in the mic, please.
State your name for the
Should
record.
be
My name
on.
is Caretha Smith from Belle Glade, Florida. And I guess I'm presenting for American Wound Care. They emerged with crossing bridges of the Palm Beaches. So a lot of our clients, residents, don't have to go to Palm Beach for their wound. We opened up a center for them right here in Belle Glade. They provide different specialty stuff that they doing with the elder community members so that we'll be able to help them because it's a long hike to Palm Beach for those services. So we have it in our community to provide for the Glades residents.
Where are you located?
We located 1508 Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard West in the plaza, around the corner for Twin Brother. Is there any other questions?
Well, again, you can, if you want to come back again and sort of give us more details, we feel like you need to, that'd be great.
Okay.
But, thank you.
Can we get like a couple minutes, because they said they in South Bay, they on their way here. And it's his program, if it's okay. The crossing bridge is not being presented. Yeah.
Yeah.
So have
You
to
didn't-
stay to the
didn't bring
agenda.
any flyers or anything, or they have them?
He has the flyers. He's on his way.
All right.
Thank you.
So we'll go through the agenda, and then I'll make a recommendation if you
Yeah.
want to entertain something, if we haven't already ended the meeting.
Correct. Okay, we'll move forward.
All right, so under adoptions of ordinances is on first reading. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Belle Glade, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances at Chapter 2, Article 6, Division 4, Section 2-336, amending the retirement plan for full-time employees, amending the composition of the Board of Trustees, providing for conflicts of ordinances and authority to codify, providing for severability, providing an effective date, and for other purposes. Need a motion.
Need a motion?
So move.
Second.
We have no public comments. Is there commissioners' comments?
Any commissioners comment?
None from me.
No.
No.
All right, roll call, Almazan,
Aye.
Collins,
Aye.
Reese,
Aye.
Wilson. I got that as an aye.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
All right,
what
under announcements, we have our budget, our next budget workshop, our first budget workshop is tomorrow, August 19th, 2025 at 5 p.m. here in the city Mary B. Conference Room, Mary B. Orsonego Conference Room. Our next regular workshop and regular meeting will be held on September 15th, 2025, beginning with a 6 o'clock workshop, followed by a regular meeting at 6:30. And now we'll move forward with the city manager's department.
City manager report.
No comment, sir, not for this meeting.
All right, ER compliance. Ms. Evans?
Yeah, I do have
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Last week, we attended the Florida League of Cities Conference in Orlando, and we brought this wonderful plaque back to show you we won an award this year, the City of Belle Glade. We were awarded for our senior home rehabilitation program that we started a couple years ago for our senior citizens. It stated that our application stood out from other applications and reflected solid commitment to the citizens that we serve. About 3 years ago, we realized that the senior citizens, the homes were deteriorating, and the mayor, commissioner, city manager, and the city of Belle Glade established a dedicated committee to launch the first ever home rehabilitation program, a vital initiative aimed at enhancing the living conditions of our elderly population. So to kick off this program, the city allocated an impressive $3 million from its general funds, demonstrating a strong commitment to the well-being of our seniors. We received 212 applications from our seniors. So far, we have completed at least 150 homes, and we will be doing the rest. So we like to say kudos to the city of Belle Glade and to the Home Rehabilitation Committee for a job well done. And the name of this award is the Service Delivery Improvement category. Let's give the city of Belle Glade a round of applause for this impressive program. And thank you so very much. This is the, right here, if you want to see it, it's so heavy. Again, thanks to the committee for a job well done.
All right.
All right, we also want to know that Ms. Evans is on the radio every Friday at 9:45?
Yes.
9:45, giving up community updates, city updates, so please stay tuned. They're very informative and keep us aware of everything. All right, we'll move to the city attorney's report.
Thank you, sir. You're well aware that the city's been through a long process, 6 request proposals to try to develop, have someone develop workforce housing at the former Gove Elementary School site. You all went through interviews on August 11th. You had second round of interviews today, and earlier today you selected Gove Estates LLC. And I think you already made this motion, but just since it's your regular meeting, we'll ask you to reaffirm that and make a motion that we should begin, along with the staff, negotiating with Gove Estates LLC and bring a contract back to you, hopefully at your September meeting. And you remember from earlier today, Mayor Wilson abstained from that, so he'll abstain again. So there's a motion to approve us beginning those negotiations.
Motion to move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
All right, call the roll. Amazon,
Aye.
Collins,
Aye.
Reese.
Aye.
Wilson. No, he's abstaining. You're right.
Oh, he abstains, Wilson abstains.
Right.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay, PBS, yes, PBSO.
I just have 2 comments I'd like to make. One, I know the commission was concerned about noise complaints. We've, over the last 60 days, we put a lot of effort into it. Noise complaints are down 60%, and I pulled the stats for the last 30 days, and we've had 2 known complainants on 2 different noise complaints and 11 with anonymous complaints. So we have made great strides in that area, and looking forward to improve those numbers even more. On a second note, in the Glades area, specifically the city of Belle Glade, at no cost to the city, we have added a deputy with a drone. That drone cost $25,000. It was paid through a grant. He attended training, past training, and is fully functional now in the city. Along with that, there's 7 others throughout the Glades area that can be deployed within the city of Belle Glade at no cost. That was a $200,000 price tag paid through a grant. So I just wanted to say that that's now up and running fully here in the city of Belle Glade and the Glades area.
Okay. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue? No comment. Okay, since the gentleman's here, before we get a public comment, let's let him do his presentation.
American Wound Care?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
you're ready. You're up. Please state your name for the record.
I'm Armen Karapitan, and these are for you guys to see. I know they're not prettiest pictures, but it will tell you the story. Where do I?
You stand right here.
Right here?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Good to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. We are a wound care clinic We're a healthcare organization that focuses on nothing but treatment of wounds. A lot of the wounds that we treat, that we focus on, are chronic wounds, stage 2, 3, 4. And then we focus on surgical wounds. It could be wounds that, that are caused by chronic diseases such as neuropathy, diabetes, and others. And the reason I'm here is because, I've been to Belle Glades on the pharmaceutical side for many, many years. We've been making deliveries here to Belle Glades, the residents of Belle Glades, for many, many years, and now I've expanded into more of a clinical side, which is wound care, and this is something that unfortunately, in most of the areas, and it's not just Belle Glades, it's in the cities such as Miami and Broward County and Dade County, it's an enormous problem, a problem that is being definitely underserved, and a problem that is becoming critical for a lot of the people in underserved areas. The demographics that we're treating are very diverse, and unfortunately, in a lot of places where we go, most of the clinical organizations, healthcare organizations, just choose not to be there, choose not to treat the patients due to their, health insurance or due to the geographical location. And, a lot of the times when we get to the patient, especially Belle Glades and kind of a 5-mile radius, we meet exactly the same challenge. Challenge of residents reaching out to specialists that can help them. We are, our formula is completely different. Our setup is we're coming to you instead of waiting for you to come to our clinic. Our clinic, actually, we're headquartered in Jackson North, Dade County, but we service all of Palm Beach County, all of Broward and Dade County, St. Lucie County, and Martin County, and we're expanding right now, going north towards Orlando. So today, we're here just for, kind of saying hello, introduce ourselves, and letting you know that we're here to help. We're here to, and we're not, we work with crossing bridges, and we appreciate very much Corita to kind of give us this opportunity. We want to be able to penetrate through Belle Glades and areas where we need to be as fast as possible. And we want to be able to help as many people as we can. I brought you these flyers, and specifically, this is actually a resident of Belle Glades. This is a resident of Belle Glades that we're servicing, and we've been servicing for 4 weeks, and you can see the progress of the wound. This literally was a, if I remember correctly, 15 square centimeter wound. That was 1 centimeter deep at the minimum, and in a matter of 4 weeks, this wound became almost completely closed. It's not magic, it's not miracle, it's just the work of those that do this day in, day out. We employ and bring on board of our team nurse practitioners or doctors, and each and every single one member of our team is not just there to help, but they're passionate about wound care. And this is what separates us from everyone else. When we get to go to the patient home, no matter where they live, what conditions they live, it doesn't make any difference to us. We will get out there and we will see the patient. And also, on top of it, what we do is we bring in other healthcare organizations with us. So if it's a primary care physician that the patient needs because they haven't been seen by primary care physician, we will bring a local primary care with us to make sure that they're getting service that they need. If it's home health agency, because a lot of the times we work with home health agencies because we don't compete with them, we actually complement both of us. We bring them in so they can provide the change of dressing, the treatments that prescribed as a plan of care by our wound care professionals. So we wanted to let you know, guys, that we're here and we want to work with you because we know you're the leadership. You're the eyes and ears of this community, and we want to be able to, by jointly working with Carita and her organization, Crossing Bridges, we want to be able to help penetrate to the community, get to those that need our services, and also get them to those that are difficult to kind of get to. We can bring into Crossing Bridges and treat them right there at Crossing Bridges. Those that we're going to be able to come to the residents, we're going to come to the residents. Those that are going to need to go to hospital, we'll get them to a hospital. A lot of the times I take patients right into my car and I drive them wherever they need to be. So and our providers do the same thing. So like I said, we become part of the team. We're not here just to show up and wave our flag, but we're going to be actually here that you can rely on us and you can definitely expect from us what you would expect from your family members, from your friends, and other healthcare professionals in this area. So. Again, I don't want to take out too much of your time, but we're here to help the community and whatever we can do to change the people especially with the chronic wounds, we would love to. I'd love to come back for a private meeting, whatever events that you have, whatever health fairs that you're looking to organize, sponsorship, co-sponsorship. We'd love to participate and love to help the community as much as we can.
If you have your card, you can give it to our deputy
Yes.
assistant manager there. And
I got some cards.
And also, our compliance PR person, she could probably announce this on the radio, let the more residents, and we have members of Gamma here in the audience and stuff. Gamma's our Glade's Area Ministerial Association, the pastors. So, the word, they're listening, and they might not be here present, but they're listening. So we thank you for what you're bringing out here to our community. Anytime we can help someone is always appreciated, and we just want to thank you for that.
Thank you, Vice
Any
Mayor.
more comments from
Thank you.
Commissioner Reeds?
No comments.
Commissioner Collins? Mayor, you have a comment? No comment. All right, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to public comments. We have two. First one from Stanley Highsmith.
Good evening.
Good evening.
On number 10 on this consent agenda, the approval of the addendum for the law enforcement, is there any way I can get a copy of that?
Absolutely, he can.
You got a request
From
to
you?
our clerk.
Yes, sir.
And on number 14, we had a meeting some time ago talking about stormwater. You were gonna assess, I think it's $15 to the residents?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
For the
So-
entire year.
Okay. Now, it says approval of emergency purchase order for emergency stormwater drainage improvements and other purposes. What are the other purposes? If the residents are gonna be charged the extra $15, what are the other purposes that you're gonna need that approval for?
So, Mr. Mayor, if I could, this is the time just for open public comment. This was an agenda item. If the gentleman wanted to speak on an agenda item, he should have spoken at that time.
He
So-
did, and that's my apologies. He had a green sheet. I got it confused.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure. And again, it's public comment, not question and answer. It's up to you how much you want to answer, but.
Well, I know they don't have to answer, but I'm gonna say it.
Understood.
So I can get that from you too? Can I can I get an answer from her as far as what are these other
I believe
purposes for?
Yes, sir. The other purpose, that's just verbiage that's used when we're doing a resolution. The drainage on that section, it got damaged with the new construction that was in the area. Their drainage was draining, it got damaged with the new construction, and so, just to avoid any hazardous and anything threatening the safety of the people and the pedestrians passing through. We got a lot of complaints about that, and we got an incident that occurred as well, so,
In a certain area.
in that particular area, sir.
Southwest Avenue D.
That's in front of what used to be Hungry Howie's, around that area. Yeah. With the new construction, sir, and the sidewalk, it messed it up. So it's
Okay,
not
well,
draining, and we
I'll
had
get
an
what I can
incident.
get from you. Thanks.
Our next public comment is from Annie Eiffel.
Okay, good evening, Mayor Commission. Good evening, residents. Annie Eiffel with Healthier Glades. I'm here to give you some updates of some upcoming events that are happening specifically for Healthier Glades, but the community at large. The first thing I want to talk about is our mini grants. So Healthier Glades have been providing mini grants to residents, grassroots groups, and nonprofit organizations who are physically in the Glades now for the past 7 or 8 years. So it's that time again for us to do it. This week, we're kicking off our mini grants by offering workshops. We realize that some of our residents and grassroots organizations training on how to apply for grants so they could be successful in completing the application and possibly be awarded. So starting this Wednesday, we are partnering with Glade's Recovery Hub in Belle Glade to host the workshops from 5:30 to 7. And what it is a specific topic every week. So we'll be doing it every Wednesday from August 20th to September 17th. And so we'll be doing that. And then after September 17th, I think September 29th, the application process will be open. And you'll have a certain time to submit the application. So if you are a resident that has been doing work in the Glades, and our focus areas are health and wellness, resident engagement, youth, anything dealing with youth, advocacy groups, if you want to create like a support group in the community, this is a grant that you can apply for. So if you have any questions, my information is on the flyer. I have some extra flyers that I can give out to the community as well. So that's one. Number two, Healthier Glades is celebrating 8 years in serving the Glades community. And so what we're doing is we're hosting a community celebration on August 25th at 5 p.m. And it's going to be at St. John First Missionary Baptist Church. Thank you to St. John for allowing us to use the space. We're going to be, this is an opportunity for residents and community stakeholders who may have never heard about Healthier Glades or may sometimes confuse us because, you know, you have a Healthier Glades, a Glades Initiative, a Guardians of the Glades. So sometimes people get it confused, but this will be an opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about Healthier Glades and the work that we've been doing in the community for the past 8 years. So that'll be this Monday coming up at 5 o'clock at St. John. The last thing I want to talk about, Healthier Glades is working with some residents in the community for an event that we're going to host in October leading up to the Muck Bowl. So as you know, we've noticed that there's been a lot of community celebrations around Muck Bowl time. And so we said, why don't we do something with the seniors? Not saying that it hasn't been done before, but what we wanted to do is do something fun and educational at the same time because we're starting to see a lot of folks are being diagnosed with early onset dementia. And so myself, along with Ms. Finney, we're doing an event called Arts on the Muck. And this is going to be like a pep rally celebration where we invite all the senior groups to come together. Healthier Glades will provide the lunch for them and host some activities in that space. It's going to be October 22nd from 11 to 2. We're working on the location right now. We would love to have the location at the Lois Lewis Center. at Mary Evans Center, so we want to have it there since we already know they got the senior group there. And so that'll be October 22nd. Myself, along with the Finneys, and some other folks from FAU, we're working on coordinating this activity together. So once I get more details, I'll come back at your September meeting with more details, but we'll be working behind the scenes on how to make it happen. We've already reached out to some of the Parks and Rec departments to encourage their seniors to come. We've already, Dr. Weeksy reached out to Quiet Waters and Silver Tree as well. Anything else I missed on that one? Yeah, so I'm working with community, so as soon as I get more information, I'll send it. And also for the celebration that we're having on the 25th, if you're interested in coming, let me know and I can put your name on the guest list. And I think that's it for updates on my end.
Said it's the 25th or the 22nd?
Which one?
So you have a celebration on the 25th?
August 25th, this Monday.
St. John's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one at St. John.
And then the 22nd, you said.
October, that's October 22nd. That's gonna be from 11 to 2. And we're trying to secure the location, but that's Arts on the Muck. Come on. She's working with me.
Hello, everyone. I'm Katrina Finney, just for the record. Some of the things that we're planning to do, because October is Mental Health.
Oh, yeah, Train the Brain Campaign Month. Yeah.
Yes, Train the Brain Campaign Month. So there's been a correlation between good brain health and the arts. So we're gonna have different forms of art that we're gonna be engaging the senior in. So we're gonna do they're gonna be painting their own artwork. We're gonna have some individuals there who's gonna help with music, teaching them how, just giving them little basic lessons on creating music and singing, other forms of art, just to show the correlation between good brain health and the arts. And so that's pretty much what this whole event is about. And we want not just the senior citizens, but some of the caregivers or family members also to come out who are caregivers for some of our seniors who may be experiencing Alzheimer's or early onset dementia or Alzheimer's. So that's pretty much what it is. And it's not just for the seniors, other people can come in on it too. But it's gonna be a fun event, and since it's Mutt Bowl, we're gonna encourage them to go dress in your colors.
Yes.
Maroon and gold. Because I
Yes,
got on blue,
maroon
don't
and
mean
gold.
nothing. Maroon and gold, just so you know. Maroon and gold. But that's pretty much what it is. We want it to be a really nice, fun event for our seniors, but it's gonna be full of art, and everything they create, they'll be able to take home with them. So it's almost like a paint and sip, but with music and other artistic events, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're hoping it's gonna be, we wanna get them excited, so, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Andy, for everything you do in the community. All the Glades.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
There are no more public comments, sir.
All right, so we'll go in closing with commissioner comments. Commissioner Reese.
Again, I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I want to commend our finance department on the good work they did in keeping our finances in order. That was a good read. The package that you gave to us was showing what fiscal year looked like, as well as for the development, CRP. And so again, we want to commend you on that, and just tell you to keep up the good work. And again, staff, thank you for all that you do to help this city to move forward. The presentation we received at the Florida League of Cities is a reflection of you and the things that you do to move this community forward. And so I just want to thank all of the staff. I see a lot of things that are taking place in our community, a lot of dilapidated buildings that are coming down, and streets being cleaned. So again, we just want to commend you for the great work that you do. And to our citizens that come out, we thank you for coming out as well, sharing your opinions. And if we're going in the wrong direction, we thank you for helping us to stay straight. And so we just look forward to hearing from you. So again, PBSO, thank you for what you do. Fire Rescue, again, thank you for the service you give to us as well. but want to hear a little bit more from you, though. Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Collins?
Yes, I don't have any comments, but I just want to say thank you to all of our departments here at the City of Belle Glade, to all of the staff, to all of those entities that collaborate and work with us, and each and every one of our residents that comes out to support us each and every month. Thank you.
Mayor Wilson, you have any comments?
No, just thank the staff, city manager, deputy manager, everybody to the audience, and thank you to my colleagues on the dais. Thank you all to the PSO, city attorney. Thank you all for the work that y'all do for the city of Belgrade. God bless you all.
All right. So I just want to say, school's open. Let's be careful out there while we drive our children. Our kids are walking to school. So being alert, there's no need to speed. You could hurt one of your loved ones out there. So please take your time going through the school zones. And even if you're not going through a school zone, please be alert. I'd like to thank our city staff, Mr. Johnny, Ms. Diana, all of our directors. This is a team. This award that we just got is, like Pastor Reed said, it's a recognition of all our employees and our whole community. It's not, when Belle Glade gets something, it's for the whole town, not just for the commissioners. So it's for everybody here. PBSO, first responders, we appreciate what y'all do in protecting us and keeping us safe. And most of all, I'd like to thank all our residents for coming out and engaging with us and just being here and listening, those on TV or here in person. Thank you for coming out and expressing yourself. And with that, I'll call it a good night and adjourn this meeting at 7:05.